The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio, and Rob, Destrucity, KTL, Drake Starstorm, Thomas Austin Jr., Passion Killer 711, Kitty Holbrook, and DG.
We got there.
We got there indeed. I have to do them out of order every time, otherwise I feel rude.
Yeah, it feels like, just sort of getting them out of the way. But you put a little bespoke...
I try, yeah.
A little bespoke sauce on it every time.
It's also actually genuinely why I try to remember it instead of having it written on a list. Now, sometime, hopefully, that won't be an option anymore. There'll just be too many patrons. But if there's enough of me to just remember you guys... I just want to remember you guys because you give me your hard-earned money, even if it's only $1. And I deeply appreciate that. The least I can do is try to remember your name, so long as it is still within my ability to remember your name.
Hey, man, I work hard for every dollar I make. It's important. It shows appreciation. And we appreciate you, even if you don't give us $1, just for listening, because we've been doing this a long time. We were just talking, and... man, some of y'all still here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. This is the True Nerds podcast. Of course, today we're talking about All Elite Wrestling All Out Toronto, the 2025 pay-per-view event. I am Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by The Boy.
Hello.
Before we get into All Out, we do need to talk briefly about what's crumpin', and I do say briefly because I think we've only really not been up to much this week.
I, probably sometime between the last time we recorded the podcast and this, finally started watching a show I had been avoiding watching for over a decade, which is the show Elementary. It's a Sherlock Holmes adaptation that I was never very into because they made too many changes to the canon of the show, and I have very, shall we say, structurally fond nerd preferences regarding adaptations of things I love. And while I don't think it's a good Sherlock Holmes adaptation necessarily, I think it's probably a mediocre one. It's a good show on its own merits. It's a very good show. And I just wanted to, it made me realize that there's probably other good things on their own merits that are probably not adaptations that are to my taste that I haven't given a fair shot. I might take that information into the future.
Sounds good. I finished Jessica Jones Season 2 and began Jessica Jones Season 3. My quest to catch up on the Netflix Marvel series is almost complete. I don't know that I'm going to watch the rest of Iron Fist Season 2. I don't care.
Really, you don't have to.
I stopped because it was bad, not because they canceled the contract.
Whereas for the others, it was because
I stopped because they canceled the contract, yeah. We'll see. But I also have gotten really into Marcus, the VR chat worm thing lately. I don't typically enjoy VR chat. That seems too much. It seems like it's too much. But these clips of this strange worm man are compelling and delightful.
He has sent me many of them. They are delightful.
And compelling.
He's pausing and looking at me, so as I will also say compelling.
It's side-eye. I'm giving him side-eye. Not even fully committed to the side-eye. But that's enough crumping for today. Our pay-per-view podcasts tend to go a little long. We'll see. I usually say, I don't know what I'm trying to say. And then we say a lot of shit. So we did watch...
We're yappers, friend. We yap.
I have gotten a lot better at cutting to a tight 15. I don't know if you've seen Violent Profiles. You should. They're the best thing on this channel. But, that's fair. We did watch the pre-show this time around. I half watched it. So let's start with that. The Ops, big surprise. Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs beat the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and J.D. Drake.
The match was 5 minutes long. It was nothing to write home about.
Katsuyori Shibata battled Daniel Garcia, who is now part of the Bloodline. Daniel Garcia won.
A good move for Daniel Garcia to beat the storied veteran with the good legacy. He's only gotten that push 19 times now. Maybe this time it'll work.
I will say that as much as I am frustrated with a lot of what's going on with, I genuinely can't remember what they're called, the Death Riders. Attaching Daniel Garcia to them is probably really good for Daniel Garcia. He's been floundering since they tried to turn him more serious Dancy Man.
Yeah, he has absolutely had nothing important to do for a long time. This is at least something for him to do. I'm not nearly as tired of the Death Riders as many others are. I believe we will find out later that others might have one more person in it than it did previously. But I want Daniel Garcia to... I want Fetch to get over here. But they have tried this exact move with him several times, and it didn't work before. The match was good. My only complaint I will loop back around after we cover the next match. I wouldn't say the match was fantastic or anything, but it served its purpose. Got healed Daniel Garcia over. Sold his new connection with the Death Riders. You got anything?
No, I didn't really watch this one.
Okay.
Hey, you like the ops match with the jobbers, the 5-minute ops match? Boy, are you gonna love this trios match. Hologram and Papa Goon against Cole Carter, Griff Garrison, and Preston Vance, the We Still Go Here frat house. Genuinely, I love the frat house, but like they are jobbers.
Oh, they're absolutely jobbers. I wish they weren't, because they're, talented guys, and it's a fun gimmick. I wish they could get some momentum. My annoyance with this match is, if they were going to have a trios match on the pre-show, make it a trios title match, and...
give them the full 8 minutes.
Give them the full 8 minutes, and, one of the morons in this match can fight Daniel Garcia. Roddy, maybe. I feel like Roddy would have been fine.
Or Hologram, and he could have been even further distracted by Evil Hologram, which is Hologram's current storyline.
Hologram exists in a separate, more cringe universe than the Death Riders. Also, he never loses. So.
Evil Hologram used to look so cool, and now he's just Hologram 2.
Oh, I said what I said.
I'm still mad.
I know.
I wasn't done being upset. And I'm not. I had finally gotten to an acceptance place, a place of acceptance with Hologram.
Hologram had finally lost your ire, if nothing else. And then he walked out and bought a new sack of ire.
Yeah. Final match of the pre-show. Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale defeated Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and the Triangle of Madness consisting of Julia Hart and Sky Blue. In an 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl. This was extremely fun.
Yeah, this was just a fun, goofy, hardcore match to get the crowd amped for the show. I think it was probably a fine way to finish up the pre-show. It was a good time, and everybody seemed to be having a good time in it.
I enjoyed watching it. That's when I came over to the couch instead of doing something here at the computer. And I'm glad I did, because that was a good time. We open the proper pay-per-view with CNC, the official tag team name for Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, going into combat against FTR, the official tag team name for Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, with Stokely. I did talk on the podcast about how fucking stupid this tag team's build has been. However, last week, it felt like I somehow time traveled to a place where this was over organically, instead of the fans just deciding and accepting that they are over.
Well, I mean, they did force this meme, but it's a meme now. Like, it worked.
I guess. I hate how we arrived here, but, that's in the rear view, so who cares? Do you have anything thorough you'd like to say about this contest?
I think it was a perfectly fun match. FTR, despite being kind of chodes, both in gimmick and it seems like probably in their personal life, they're a really good tag team.
Yeah, they are.
They are an astonishingly good professional wrestling tag team, so of course the match was good. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage are, Hall of Fame veterans. And
what a diplomatic way to say that on this podcast.
Yes, that is why I did it that way. And they, getting their flowers. I still, every time I am tired, every time I become tired of Christian Cage's current gimmick, he somehow manages to, without changing it, refresh it. And I once again fall in love with this humongous piece of shit.
Some sort of kerfuffle happened afterward. I remember half of it, but what caused...
So a multi-stage kerfuffle happened. I believe the first stage of the kerfuffle was after CNC Music Factory defeated FTR. The abandoned members of the patriarchy showed up to wiggle at them and distract them. At which point they were attacked from behind. Is that? Am I remembering that right?
No, I'm lost on this part.
Because I know where we end up.
Yes.
But I don't remember how we got there. I'm going to have to look that up. This ends up in the Luchasaurus thing, doesn't it?
No, this has nothing to do with that.
Oh no, because that's later.
It's way later.
They distract them so that FTR can attack them again, and then and during the match, Stokely is attacked by Beth Copeland, who comes out to kill him.
Was that during the match?
Yeah, because he was interfering.
Oh, okay.
And then she took him to the back and went away with him.
That's right. And afterward, they handcuffed Edge to the ropes and beat up his wife or something.
They handcuffed him up to the ropes, and they were getting ready to kill him. And then Beth was like, there, and Adam was like, "You should go. You should leave. Go. Run away." And then Beth, who ain't no bitch, gave her husband a smooch and went to Valhalla and died a warrior's death, which was the coolest spot in that whole match.
She showed up, took Stokely, kidnapped him, and left, and then came back afterward when the shenanigans were going down.
Yes.
Yeah, that was all fine. It's been 2 days, being frank with you, listener. Some of the smaller details have left our brains.
I'm so used to Luchasaurus being around Christian that I moved him over here.
Yeah. Yeah, spoilers. I guess you guys...
Well, no, Luchasaurus has been back.
Thumbs it down.
That's not the spoiler.
Thumbs it down.
It is engagement.
Yeah. I was excited for our next contest. Big Bill called out Eddie Kingston. Said Japan sucks and wanted to fight him in a match. And so Eddie Kingston is back with a shirt that says Claudio sucks eggs. Eddie was not 100%, I don't think, but he was definitely back. This was a pretty good match.
There was clearly some ring rust.
Sure.
They gave him...
and he had some serious injuries. He was out for a while.
Dude, yeah. He tore 9 things on his body.
The king slid right off the stun.
And... he did remarkably well. They kept it tight. They kept it to 7 minutes. They didn't wait. They didn't give him too much, room too much rope, as it were. But I think it was a good match. Certainly nothing astounding, but fun. I'm so glad to see Eddie Kingston back. If Hangman Adam PAge is the heart and soul of AEW, Eddie Kingston is
the balls.
The balls. And it's good that AEW has its balls back.
Yeah, just in time for the world to get cold. The next match was a tables and tacks match between MJF and Mark Briscoe. This one was really good, hardcore match, and unlike the fun plunder match that was on the pre-show,
this one was for the sickos.
Yeah, this was pretty nuts.
The sickos were eating good in this match. I haven't seen this particular stipulation before. It is an insane one. It is 2 random weapons are legal, specifically tables and tacks, which are respectively the most normie weapon to see, and you see a table thing happen sometimes in like a regular wrestling match, and then one of the deepest tier sicko weapons.
I think like the entry level sicko weapon.
Well, like entry level in terms of damage, it does.
Well, and also like that's if you're likely to see thumbtacks throughout wrestling. You don't usually see the light tubes and glass and cinder blocks.
No, because those are very dangerous.
Yeah. I actually think they did a good job with this one. It wasn't too gory, I guess the word might be. I had a lot of fun watching it.
It was a little.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't. They weren't insane. They weren't like taking the piss.
Right.
It was very well wrestled because the two people who are doing it are incredibly good at their jobs, a generational talent, and one half of. I mean, I didn't really see much of them, but widely regarded as maybe the best tag team of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised by the result personally.
I am too. Pleasantly surprised, I must admit. Mark Briscoe's needed his something big as a win for a long time now.
This is so Mark Briscoe has had this problem. You nailed it on the head. Where he's supposedly this established veteran, and he's someone you have to take seriously. But in the win-loss record column, he's been a jobber to the stars, the jobber. Basically, since he showed up in AEW. When this match happened, I figured he was going to continue his, job. MJF was going to get, a win over him, and put him, that'll put MJF past this feud. And MJF, who's had a shaky few months due to storyline problems, and bad storylines before that became a problem for the people who were doing it, would be more solidified and able to move back towards the main event. They decided to go the other way. They decided to help solidify Mark Briscoe as a real big boy main eventer, and I don't disagree with the call. I don't know that it's the one I would have made. I'm a huge MJF mark, but I think it's very interesting. I'd like to see where this goes.
It's the call I would have made, and that's why I was surprised they took it. AEW is not as bad as WWE, but sometimes, man, especially over the last 2 years, they've lost a lot of my faith. But this was a good contest. I think it's the right man won. I'm curious to see what MJF is doing, bullying himself into a corner.
I trust that Maxwell will have something interesting for us.
Yeah.
That trust has been abused somewhat of late, but I still extend it. I am very excited to see where this leads Mark Briscoe. I'd like for him to get something tangible out of this.
I mean, even if this was just the proverbial, set in terms of volleyball to keep him afloat, I'm fine with that.
He needed it.
Yeah, he needed it really bad. Speaking of needing something really bad, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona debuted their new name and matching ring gear as The Demand.
I like that name.
I do.
That name got some shit in the Discord amongst the fans, but both members of the Two Nerds podcast like that name quite a bit. Thank you very much.
I think it's solid. I don't think it's too complicated. I don't think it's too... I don't know.
It's memorable.
Yeah.
It's short. It's punchy. It lets them work as a unit in terms of storyline, easily explainable.
And it says something. I think it sort of indicates what the group is about. They demand
it gives
respect.
a mission statement.
Yeah.
It gives a clearer mission statement than the Death Riders ever have.
I think the Death Riders ride with Mox to the death. I think that's the whole...
No, I was just jazzing the Death Riders.
Oh, okay. Death Riders bad. Ooh. They're up against the Hurt Syndicate, and this is a trios match, so MVP is involved. I really liked this contest as well. I thought it was very well wrestled. Lots of cool spots.
Excellent use of your MVP, I will say. Having him as the from underneath guy for the Hurt Syndicate, who are usually both booked very strong, that's excellent use of your MVP. I'm really glad about who won.
Yes. And that was surprise third team of Danhausen, a second Danhausen, and a third Danhausen. No, that was The Demand. That was my attempt at humor, and I am sorry. Ricochet has been a little rough lately, and I was not in favor of his alignment with Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, because while I like the Gates of Agony, they never win anything ever.
But the Gates of Agony, if Mark Briscoe has had a problem with seeming like the jobber to the stars, the Gates of Agony were jobbers.
Yeah.
They were just jobbers, dude. They just never won anything. They might have won a Ring of Honor. I don't care. In AEW, they never won anything. They sucked. They lost all the time. They're cool. They have a great look. They got a good name. Gates of Agony is a great name.
They're getting better as wrestlers, too.
Yeah. But they weren't treated as a serious contender for anything. I was more mildly in favor of it for them, but I felt like it was really bad for Ricochet to tie him to these two anchors. And I was proven quite successfully wrong. They really made something interesting out of this that I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
I like Ricochet's heel run in AEW. It's nice to see him let loose and able to be as charismatic as he is, and he's doing some really good work with the scissors and the noise that he makes.
I'm not going to make the noise. It's restraint on my part.
Yes.
It's a fun noise.
It is a fun noise. So yeah, I hope this means things for the Demand.
Also, good on the Hurt Syndicate. There have been, the internet dirt sheets have been alive with scuttlebutt that the Hurt Syndicate doesn't want to lose to anybody. And turns out that's not true.
Do you mind if I take point on this next one?
Absolutely, Fred.
Okay. So Mercedes Moné defended her title against Riho. That's not a surprise that Riho didn't win. Riho shows up once every 3 months to fight whoever happens to be the champ at the time.
She loses. She goes back to Japan.
Yeah. Or wherever it is she goes. I don't know that she's even wrestling elsewhere. I think she just
I would assume
returns to her chrysalis.
She's something of a storied, person there.
I have nothing against Riho as a person, but I often and vociferously have had a hard time taking her seriously in AEW, specifically because when she lands moves, they look ineffectual. It has nothing to do intimately, necessarily with her size, but that is what's causing her to have that problem. I'm fine with a David and Goliath match. Rey Mysterio versus The Big Show. Great, because when Rey Mysterio hit The Big Show, it looked like Rey Mysterio hit The Big Show. Riho isn't even fast. She's graceful. She is like a feather. And that's a look, but especially when she's fighting larger opponents, which most of the AEW roster are, I just have a really hard time taking her seriously or buying in. It's not, I know how the magic trick works, so I can't enjoy it. It's the magic trick isn't working. I saw the second lady in the bottom of the saw box. I can't pretend she's not there. You fucked up. Now, this match is an exception, and I think especially because Mercedes is one of the smaller members of the AEW roster, and she was still working power here, but for most of the match, there were some small exceptions, but I'm willing to overlook them. Riho used her offense in a way that made sense with her size, in a way that could be sold with her size. It wasn't always successful, but largely in this contest, I thought it was pretty good. I thought these two ladies brought the best out of each other, all things considered.
Mercedes Moné is one of the best women to ever lace up boots. I might not have liked her gimmick back when she showed up at AEW, because before she turned into being the heel that she was always destined to be. But I love it now, and even back then, I wasn't going to deny her her propers. So she can get a good match out of almost anyone. She can't always get a great match. Oftentimes we cap out at good.
Every now and then you get a rough one too.
Yeah,
but that's chemistry. I think she's got very uneven chemistry with people.
But this was a quite good match for me. Look, I am a very adamant proponent of intergender competition being a normal thing in pro wrestling. It's a normal thing in a lot of the indies. It's fine, guys. It's not MMA. We all know the deal. Scarlet Witch and Black Widow are Avengers. It's fine. You guys, really, genuinely, it's okay. It's not the 90s anymore. We can move forward as a wrestling society. But Riho represents a good example of, I mean, much of her matches, again, not this one, how that can be a problem because it's a matter of believability. Riho is 90 pounds soaking wet, I would assume.
I'll look it up.
And Mercedes Moné isn't that much bigger than her. But if Riho is wrestling Nyla Rose,
which she has, 99 pounds.
I you know what? I stand corrected. I am defeated. You need to wrestle a certain way for that to be believable. One of the reasons Rey Mysterio could get away with fighting the Big Show is the style Rey wrestled against the Big Show. He played to the strengths of being the smaller, faster man. He did a lot of high-impact strikes and acrobatic moves. Riho often does not do those things. She just does regular strikes, and when someone the size of Riho just regular punches someone the size of Nyla Rose, it looks like a 12-year-old punching a grown man.
Well, and in that sense as well, I mean, we can look at Darby Allin. Darby who is fast, and Darby whose main offense is throw him, hole him at him.
Yeah, Darby Allin's a great example. Darby Allin is wee. He is tiny, and he looks entirely believable fighting like Big Bill, which the size difference is about the same there. But Darby looks believable because every strike he does looks desperate.
Yes.
It looks like he is throwing every ounce of his spirit and soul into that punch.
Whereas because of Riho's gimmick, she's demure and tittery.
And I think, honestly, the presentation is at half, at minimum, of the problem with Riho. If she wrestled a more high-impact style, if she had a gimmick that in America comes across as taking yourself more seriously, I recognize, culturally might be different across the Pacific. That's not where I watch wrestling. It's not where I'm from. I can only speak.
You can go across the Atlantic too if you want. It just takes longer.
It takes so much longer.
Yeah.
It's not where I'm from. It's not how I think. It's not the kind of wrestling I'm used to and the kind I can fairly and accurately offer thoughts on. So it's just, if you dress like a small child and act like a small child and you're the size of a small child, my brain's going to want to treat you like a small child.
I think it would be kind of like when someone who is a Marth main gets killed by Jigglypuff in Smash. That seems pretty unbelievable. You just sort of settled into sleep next to me and I rocketed off to the moon? Come on, man. And at least Jigglypuff canonically has magic powers.
I mean, look, you could also just give her Undertaker magic. That would work fine.
Sure, I think that'd be fun. Death Sparkles.
Just give her straight up. If she's going to be a magical girl, give her magical girl powers. The other wrestlers will sell it, I promise.
She's not a magical girl, though. She's an idol. But anyway, let's move on to surprisingly good match to match of the night. A three-way dance for the AEW Unified Championship, still a stupid name. Konosuke Takeshita, Mascara Dorada, and Kazuchika Okada.
Fucking banger.
21 minutes of pure bliss, baby.
Holy shit, this was good. Every single part of it was fucking excellent. And it didn't stop, and it remained excellent, and the finish was excellent, and the right person won. Although I really would have been fine with the Takeshita win here. That would have been cool. They
made me not believe, but approach belief that Mascara Dorada might win. And
by those two, taking each other out.
Okada. Yeah, and refusing to acknowledge him. I mean, they made it often you don't go here third wheel in these confrontations is an afterthought. And we had this last time with, what was her name, Bozilla. I was being humorous last time. That's why it was stored in my head that way. They let somebody who isn't an AEW original shine.
He did a really great job. I can't praise this match enough. It was incredible.
I've been a fan of Dorado for a while. I think he's definitely the best to come out of the Lucha House Party, and I like Lince Dorado. But this was sensational. Great moments, gifable moments, incredible feats of athleticism, solid match bell to bell. I haven't seen a match this good in a long time.
It made me really hype for the eventual Takeshita Okada singles match where Takeshita does beat him.
Yeah, I like that they're sowing dissent and that shit might be going down in the Don Callis family.
This is incredibly Japanese storytelling.
It's really good. They're doing a great job with it. I have no complaints.
A+, 5 stars, 5 frogs.
All right, are you guys tired of us not having any complaints?
Because get ready. Here comes the complaint department. It's time for the Jon Moxley match.
So this is a coffin match. Mox versus Darby Allin. We were theorizing this whole time that the reason Hanger defeating Mox for the title didn't put away the Death Riders,
didn't kill Mox,
was to give him the match, to give it to Darby, because Darby was clearly earmarked for it, and then shit went down.
And Darby gave a lot of heat at the beginning of this by putting Mox over really strongly when he had already lost to him at least a couple times. And it really helped solidify John's run at the beginning as the new big bad of the Federation. So giving Darby his heat back is good business. Turns out no, that's not turns out we don't know what the point is. I don't know that there is one, and not even not Death Riders apologist number 1. But certainly, Death Riders fan still, after all of it. It's just a very cool faction. Not even I can deny the Bloodline allegations at this point. It's gone too far.
Yeah, they made this whole big show of the rest of the Death Riders being sent away from the ring.
Because Mox had a point to prove.
Sure.
He wanted Darby to understand.
And honestly, it was a good match. That wasn't great.
Oh no, it was just a call. It was a hardcore match. It was very gory. It was a lot of weapon spots. It wasn't anything bad. It was certainly a fun match. But then the finish happened.
Yeah, they bring back Pac, and he has less hair, so who cares? He looks stupid now.
I don't care about his haircut. I'm happy to see Pac back. I think it's good that he came back. But I don't know that it's good that he came back in this way.
No, yeah, he interferes, and so Mox gets to win. And then later in the night, there's a backstage promo where Mox sends all the Death Riders away again, and Darby sets Mox on fire.
They're in a coffin, and they have their truck. And for a while, I thought, Darby's not in the truck, and they're going to do a bit where they drag the truck away, or they drag the coffin away. Like it's Big Show's dad's funeral. And that's not what happens. All the Death Riders get in their truck and they drive away, and then Moxley is tells the cameraman to leave, implying he's going to IRL kill Darby Allin. Darby Allin then rises from the casket grave. By the way, I know it's just you getting put in a box or whatever, but wrestling runs on the established tropes of its genre. Don't fucking bury your own specialty gimmick, Darby. What the fuck? He pops right out of the coffin, puts Mox in the body bag, and then lights the body bag on fire. That's +1 to the counter of people being lit on fire in real life in AEW. But now Darby lost the match, but is still gonna get those Death Riders. He's gonna get them. Oh yeah, he's coming. Darby is starting to give off Scrappy Doo vibes in this gimmick.
It's just, I'm so tired. It's not exciting anymore. It stopped being exciting about 5 new Bloodline members ago, and now you guys are no longer even remotely beating the allegations that you're just doing the same fucking gimmick.
Yeah, not even I can deny it. Because in the beginning, I don't think it was the same gimmick. They had a different vibe about how they were approaching things. At this point, it's the Bloodline. It's been the Bloodline for a while, and I was on the copiums, and I'm putting the mask down. This is the Bloodline, but it's not Samoans this time, you guys.
I'm not saying it's all cooked. I think there's still some good parts of it, but I so categorically do not agree with most of what they're doing with this faction, especially at the upper end, that it's poisoning the whole soup for me.
I still like the Death Riders. It's a cool gimmick. when John does a good promo, he does it with verve and he's compelling. And he gives a bunch of heels a bunch of shit to do. I am tired of this finish. I am incredibly tired of this finish to this fucking match. Just occasionally have a match that doesn't end with the bloodline finish. Just as an experiment. Try it a couple times.
Or have a face remember that they probably need to find 6 or 7 guys, at least one more than there are obvious members of the Death Riders.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems with the bloodline finish is after a while it makes the faces seem either stupid or crazy.
Well, and why isn't management getting involved? If you're going to reverse match decisions...
because TK is, in universe, a scared cuck.
Well, that's... Speaking of scared cucks, visually here is where I would turn to you and shrug, because that has nothing to do with the next match. Jamie Hayter, Tekla, Chris Statlander, and Timeless Toni Storm contend for the AEW Women's World Championship match.
This was a really fun match.
No.
I had fun watching it.
It was not good.
It was... I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Toni Storm was in the ring,
yes.
So the match automatically starts at 2 stars.
They started it with one of the best little video packages they've done.
That video package was good.
It was so clean.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was Ocean's 11. It was with the little boxes and the intro segment. It was just so great. And Toni Storm making hay out of what is objectively her not having any real through line in terms of her challengers, making hay of it by being, a woman in search of her big final destined death. I must be killed. You're going to have to kill me to take the championship off me. Who's gonna do it? I am an old orc seeking a fitting end. And then Chris Statlander won on the equivalent of a roll up. And is the new champ now.
This match never got into second gear. And Tekla, who I'm usually for, underperformed like hell in this match.
I didn't notice as much as you did, but I also didn't notice her doing anything astounding or
It wasn't bad. It was just I would not recognize you. I would not acknowledge you if we want to continue using Death Riders terminology. This match was bad and stupid. I love Chris Statlander. She's in probably one of the worst storylines of her career.
She might genuinely have one of the worst storylines in AEW right now just because it's fully fucking incoherent.
And, so the thing they're doing now where she may or may not be being hoodwinked into joining the Death Riders, that has potential, but it just started.
And Wheeler Yuta brings his Muppet ass out to ringside to be like, hey, use the seatbelt pin I learned from Chuck Taylor. It's really good. You'll win the match with that. And then he's just right. She just does. She uses the seatbelt pin and wins the match. I don't understand. I'm so confused. I'm upset.
I would rather be in a situation where I'm glad Chris Statlander won the AEW Women's World Championship, not where I'm upset and disappointed Chris Statlander won the AEW Women's World Championship.
I like Statlander quite a bit.
Yeah. And I don't dislike Toni Storm. I don't dislike Toni Storm. She's very good at wrestlings.
But you've been tired of her shtick for a while.
Yeah, it's just not been anything new.
So it's not like you're upset that the reign has ended.
Sure.
Whereas for me, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
This was just... I don't even know that there's anything more to say about it. It was really, really disappointing.
I could say so much more about it. I will limit myself as much as I can. Toni Storm's legendary, all-timer run with this title deserved a better ending than it got. It deserved the big... And I get it being undercut is an intentional move. I want to be clear. I don't not understand what they're doing. I dislike it. Chris Statlander with the big fluke win, the big surprise win, and then she's the champion who nobody expected. I understand what they're doing there. I also think there is a school of wrestling thought that is timeless Toni Storm doesn't need the championship. She's over, like, she's the most over women's wrestler in the roster right now by a big margin, and she's, amazing. So she doesn't need the title belt, whereas this gives the incoherent Statlander, who's had 19 different gimmicks in the last year, something to do. It gives her an anchor upon which to build a character. That is a school of thought. And if this match had done its job better in getting there, I would actually be for that. As it stands, I'm just grumpy.
I don't think Toni Storm's title reign since the Hollywood ending has been good. I think she's been coasting.
You are wrong.
This is what it's like talking to him. I think she's been Toni Storm, and again, if you're fully bought into anything this woman says, then absolutely, I understand why you would be like, yeah, she's perfect, who cares? But it just hasn't been very well. The story hasn't been very good. We've been falling back on old patterns, and I haven't been satisfied with it. I think there's maybe something to be said for, as you alluded, the fluke, meaning Toni Storm is allowed to carry on because this isn't her big ending. This is a flop. This is a box office bust. But I still don't think they went about it very well, and I'm not cool with how this went down. It just feels bad. You know what else feels bad? This segue makes sense. 4-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks, Brodito, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family consisting of Hechicero and I've forgotten the other guy that I pretend to confuse these two for.
This is Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. Yeah, I know. It's Josh Alexander. I can see it there. What's the other guy's name? Beast? Frico?
The one who hangs around the Death Riders sometimes?
Crazeman?
I don't know. I don't care.
Pretty Boy Gary?
Dum Dum. Bald Man.
I hate him.
Bald Man number 7.
Yeah, I hate him. I hate Josh Alexander.
But
this match was not good.
I disagree. This match was fun. This match was good. This match was a ladder match, so it fell prey to some of the stuff that sometimes ladder matches can do, where, look, I know that, I know wrestlers don't know how ladders work. We've all come to accept that. But they do know where the title belts are, presumably.
There is a special force field during this match made of pudding that is it's invisible, between any wrestler who isn't Brodito when Brodito is supposed to win and the titles. Ladder matches, famously, multi-man ladder matches for titles have this problem. It is hard to get around this problem, especially when you give it 30 minutes. Normally, the way you get around this problem is you cut the time down a little bit so there's less dead time for people to be climbing the ladder. Now, a couple times, it's that the person who could have decided to be champion got Hardy syndrome instead and did a big attack when they could have just grabbed the title belt. This is a known phenomenon of the ladder match. Hardy syndrome is real. It happens in ladder matches. Wrestlers get caught up in the moment. This is an in-universe thing that has been acknowledged as happening. It does make them come across a little stupid. I'm not grading on a curve. I don't care that that's how these work. Then that's stupid, and they shouldn't work that way. That's how I feel.
It was full of big fun spots. It was, full of big multi-man crazy match. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was certainly fun.
I had a bad time.
You had a bad time because you hate Brodito because they have a stupid name.
And they're a bad team, and they shouldn't be together. And
they're not a bad team. That is not true. They are a
fake team.
They have a perfectly fine amount of chemistry.
Just thrown together for a tournament, and then they won. So stupid.
So, I do have a question. This is a question I've asked related to other things. Mm-hmm. In your universe,
yes,
do Brody King and Bandito not get careers?
In your universe is the only way Brody King and Bandito get careers for them to be thrown together in a tag team tournament and accidentally win the damn thing?
I mean, having seen Brody King's career before this, I don't think a singles push is in his future. I don't like that. I would prefer...
I feel like Brody King and Bandito separately could have been with people that matched their vibe. They're not even doing the, wow, these guys are so mismatched gimmick. They are literally just happen to be the tag team champions.
Look, I don't know that their vibes mismatch all that strongly.
One is a Wild West bandit guy who is flippy, and the other one is a giant murder man from black metal.
Yeah, okay, so this is incredibly shallow. But when Brody King wears his silly little multi-color coat, it really lightens up his vibe for me. He comes across way less big spooky murder man and more, that's the big guy who will pick you up if you fall down in the mosh pit. It just makes him look a lot friendlier, and so it brings his vibe more in line with Bandito's for me.
You know, I just noticed something funny about if you take the Jackson brothers' names and you get the first two letters of one and the last two letters of another, it almost sounds like Mark. Anyway, Brodito retained, which is fine because the Young Bucks don't need the titles again. Jet Speed are jobbers, and I don't want Josh Alexander to have anything good, even if it means Hechicero not having anything good. Afterward was fun, though, because Jack came back.
Yes, my scapegoat, Jack Perry, came back from his long mission, his
knife making mission,
his pilgrimage to the land of blades, to reunite with the people he had been aligned with last time he was here, the Young Bucks, and then he attacked them. Because never let him know your next move.
Well, he felt that there was some of this told on BT, on Being the Elite, or whatever they call it now. He had felt they betrayed him. He mailed them one of the knives he built and said, for the next time you feel like stabbing me in the back. So this was making good on that. Now, should you have to watch a YouTube show to know what's going on?
No. Shouldn't have to play Fortnite to know the Star Wars plot.
I don't think this is that bad, but you're still... I agree with you, but I do happen to have this context.
I appreciate it. Look, I wasn't against it. You guys are lame now. I'm still cool as hell. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But there's two of them, and there's only one of him. So they play the vignette that played last pay-per-view of Luchasaurus getting resurrected. Only we see a slightly different...
cut of it.
Yeah.
That reveals... that because last time it was just Luchasaurus in like a grimy hospital bed somewhere and he wakes up. This time it was Desecrate Grave, the Jow segment, implying that Luchasaurus was fully dead. He was a dead man, and Jack Perry can resurrect people.
I'm okay with all those. Mad Alchemist Jack Perry, I'm here for it.
This was not a criticism I just leveled. And then... Jack Perry laughs, the lights go out, the vignette plays, and then not kill switch anymore. He threw the belt into the crowd. Luchasaurus returns! And then they play the music. Everybody gets to sing the song. Jurassic Express.
I'm very excited about that. Honestly, this pay-per-view, Eddie Kingston came back, Jack Perry came back, and there was a promo where they mentioned that Orange Cassidy should be back Wednesday. I'm eating good again.
Nature is healing.
Now, the main event, finally, I don't feel strongly about. I don't like this storyline. I don't like Kyle Fletcher for reasons I've illustrated previously. I think he's a good wrestler, even if I don't like him. But there was one other thing I wanted to say before I handed it over to the fanboy. I think they did a good job of, this is days afterward, spoilers, making it look like Kyle Fletcher might actually win. I never believed in my heart of hearts, but there were a couple of near falls where I went, whew, scared me for a second there. But yeah, this was a solid match. What do you have to say about it, the boy?
Now that he's finished poisoning the well, let me tell you about a good wrestling match I watched.
I have poison and no what. Look. Nobody agrees with me. That is known. I can't convince anybody of anything, nor do I want to. I live in my little shame hole where I'm mad at everything, and sometimes people come visit and they're like, how you doing in there, buddy? And I'm like, fuck you. And that's how it is. They go live their regular, normal lives, and I'm happy for them. No one should be as mad as me in my shame hole. It's my shame hole, damn it.
So this gimmick was rushed because Wardlow's made of styrofoam, turns out.
There's been some back and forth on whether Kyle was supposed to be the guy the whole time and Wardlow was just supposed to be involved, or whether Wardlow was supposed to be the guy, but he was definitely going to be involved significantly.
So they had to call an audible on how this gimmick goes, and for calling an audible, grading on that curve, I think this gimmick was quite well built. I like Hangman pulling the big brother energy and being like, no, you're going to be a big boy and you're going to wrestle the match yourself because you have the potential to be an all-time great. I believe you have that potential, but you got to stop being a little bitch.
And buy some socks. Hanger was great in this. And honestly, if I liked Kyle Fletcher, I would have appreciated what he did here.
Kyle Fletcher did an excellent job. He is a bitch. He's such a petulant child is his whole gimmick. He is a petulant, insecure child who happens to be Randy Orton run through a time machine where you run time through Randy and he gets younger. And
I think that's what Rey Mysterio did.
Could be.
Yeah.
And he's doing his job really well. Hanger's doing his job really well. The story wasn't anything to write home about. I like that they actually did stick with the Don Callis family not interfering.
God, same.
Because the Don Callis family isn't like the Death Riders. The Don Callis family, at the very least, are men of their fucking words.
I mean, sometimes they're not, and I think they've done this exact thing before.
And then interfered, yes. But this time, Hanger got them to actually commit to not interfering. I think it was because if they interfered, Fletcher would have been disqualified and stripped of the TNT title, because that's the thing Hangman just decided was the case. And
well, that was his terms. Fletcher wanted the match, and Hanger's like, okay,
here's the contract. And then Fletcher was like, I'll sign it. I'd have signed anything. You could have. Well, there was a really good promo. You could have made me crawl through 10 miles of broken glass before our match, and I'd have still signed the contract. It was really good, actually. The match itself, well wrestled. I was a little tired by this point in the evening, and it wasn't even that late. It's just there's so much wrestling. I think Hangman Adam PAge's title run is proceeding apace with good, strong challengers with good, well-made stories.
Something that many title runs, but it's emblematic of this current Hangman run, and I think it's doing fine. I think one of the biggest challenges in wrestling is making believable contenders, at least for me as a viewer in the modern era, making believable contenders without ridiculous circumstances.
Yeah, like, if the gimmick of the match, if the stipulation is, like, if the champion looks to the left too many times, he loses the title. Or there's 19 guys and they're all going to be interfering the whole time. If you put too much weight on the other end of the scale to make it believable that the champ might lose, it robs it of its seriousness.
But at the same time, if you're smartened up at all, unlike some people who are Brodito fans,
he's so mad that I don't hate them for the sin of not having been a tag team for 5 years before they get a title shot.
No, I'm just playing into the gimmick, brother. It's I don't really care.
I was joining in the gimmick.
Like, can you give me like a hand sign or something? Because anyway, it's tough because I don't know these last few matches. I don't know what I would have done different. You know, maybe I would have, with MJF anyway, booked like a younger guy, newer guy. Yeah, MJF's still pretty young, but like a less over guy. But that wouldn't have made it more believable.
In fact, it would have made it less believable.
Yeah, it's rough.
Look, this is the Jow problem.
Yeah.
The first 3 or so challengers a champion has, they're gonna lose. Because the other option is it bad booking. You're hot-shotting the belt around. That's not good, generally. So it's a challenge to make your first 3, maybe 4 challengers. I think 3 is pretty much it's not just because of Jow. That's a rule in Jow for a reason.
Yeah.
The first 3 or so challengers, they're gonna lose. Like, we know that. We've seen wrestling before. So it's about making me believe in the moment that they might win in the match. That's all you have to do.
Most preferably, I'd like to be made to believe during the build that they might win.
I think that's too... I don't ask for that, because for me, that is too high a bar.
Well, and I say that and going, you know, I don't know how you would do that. So maybe it's impossible. Maybe I'm asking the impossible. I accept that.
For me, it is too high a bar, because I have been watching wrestling my whole life, essentially, and, like, I'm a smark. In the classical sense, I am smartened up and a mark, as this man is so right to point out. I do not deny these charges.
How dare you enjoy things?
So I know kind of what the deal is, and I also have opinions about what the deal should be. And I don't think the first 3 or so challengers should win, unless the title run is really going shitty. So all I ask is that you make the build good enough that then in the match, I can believe. Sell me. I want to believe. I want to buy into the fiction. I am your biggest supporter in that. I'm on your side, wrestling show. I want to like this. That's all you got to do is get me that final hurdle. And they did. So, good match.
Yeah,
good job.
I think it was a good match. I think it was a good main event. Certainly better than the 3 matches that preceded it.
Oh, I don't disagree. Absolutely better than 3 matches preceded. I might have found that ladder match fun. This was actually good. There's a difference.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts before we sign off for the night? AEW All Out Toronto.
I'm so happy for all the returns. Everybody coming back. Yay.